So I just watched a video where this influencer is giving some amazing, groundbreaking advice. So practical, very simple. Just don't give a fuck. Listen, if it's that fucking easy, counselors, therapists, coaches, we'd all be out of fucking business. Easier said than done, my friend. Listen, if you just watch a video like that saying, oh, I'm just going to get rid of my anxious attachment by not giving a fuck in the future. Oh, I'm just going to get rid of my shyness by not giving a fuck. Oh, I'm going to start being courageous by not giving a fuck. Yeah, good luck with that. That's not going to work out very well. If it was that fucking easy, everyone would be doing it. Listen, even for as long as I can remember, people try and give that advice to not give a fuck. That's just the most impractical, dumbest fucking thing I've ever heard. It'll never, ever work. Listen, you have to keep things in context here. If you're the CEO fucking of a company and that CEO tells you, well, I just don't give a fuck. I make moves. Well, of course he can, because he's a multimillionaire. He's in charge. He's the boss. If you take somebody where the relationship is going really, really amazing and they say, oh, you know what? I'm great in my relationship because I don't give a fuck. Easier said than done, because that person is going in a really great relationship. Anyone can feel fucking good when they're in Disney World, they're in Italy on vacation, the relationship's good, you got millions in the bank account. All these great influencers say that they simply get rid of their anxious attachment or nervousness or shyness by not giving a fuck. I would like to see them get completely stripped from all their clout, all their followers, their money, everything, and start over and tell me they still don't give a fuck, because they would. Listen, I've been coaching for over 10 years. I've worked side by side by some of the most talented people in the world, people that you would know, and every single one of them does give a fuck, at least to some degree. There is nobody that doesn't give a fuck. So if you even try to think, oh, no problem, I just watched the best video of my life, I'm just not going to give a fuck from now on. That's not going to work. You might want to subscribe to my channel. I will make sure to manage your expectations so you understand what is possible. Again, you can get to a point where you don't give a fuck as long, but the idea you're not going to give a fuck at all is just ridiculous. Again, you have to keep things in context. Very easy for a multi-billionaire to tell you they don't give a fuck about whether someone does business with them. They're a multi-billionaire. Very easy for someone who's in an amazing relationship or just has a certain great dating situation to say, oh, I don't give a fuck. Of course, they're already in that situation. Let them start from fucking ground zero and let's see how much they don't give a fuck. Listen, a lot of people have unrealistic expectations. I have a lot of unique interests. I'm definitely into things beyond just this emotional strengthening I teach here. I've done a lot of programs in a lot of different areas, some that you would say are spiritual in nature. Listen, if you ever come across somebody who is trying to coach or, do something in the spiritual realm and they tell you, or they try and pose themselves to be somebody that never gets their cage rattled, listen, go ahead and put the Dalai Lama at a 9-to-5 job with a shitty fucking boss and put zero money in their bank account and give that Dalai Lama no place to fucking live. And let's see how well they do. Again, it's very easy to talk all big when life is going very well for somebody. These are the same people, and don't be fooled by this. You see a lot of people on Facebook. Listen, people on Facebook posting how great their life is and how easy things are and how they just don't give a fuck, whatever. These are the same people that 6 months later will get dumped or have a challenge. They'll post, oh, you never really can trust people. Do not forget, people on Facebook are posting what they want you to see. They are posting an image. Those same people, those influencers on Instagram and TikTok, whatever, they're posting an image to you. You're not seeing them behind the scenes and they're crying and they have a falling out with somebody they really care about. You're only seeing you're seeing the tip of the iceberg. You're not seeing the full thing. You're seeing an image they want to project. That's not the real fucking thing. Listen, I might not be for you. I'm not for everybody, but I'll never tell you that I don't get my cage rattled. Of course I do. And I think I'm the fucking best in the world at what I do. But I get my cage rattled. I'm not always necessarily happy. I might feel powerful all the time, but I'm not necessarily always happy. I have my own, challenges. I live in the real fucking world, my friends. I live in a monastery or a fucking forest somewhere. And if you are going through a tough time right now, the thing that will propel you forward is actually giving yourself a goal that is achievable. Every human being feels emotions, including negative. Every human being gets their cage rattled from time to time. Every human being does give a fuck, at least to some degree, unless they're fucking crazy or on some kind of fucking medicine. It's normal to give a fuck. Listen, there was a video I saw many years ago where when people go through, I forget who it was, I think it was like Steve Harvey or something like that. And he said that, this is super great, by the way. Like, if you are going through a challenging time and you think you're depressed, Steve Harvey had this great video where he says, there are many times where people in a situation where they got caught cheating, they lost their job because they did something bad at work, and they got fired or they got broken up with and they're depressed. A lot of people are so quick to use the word depression for feeling a certain way when you're feeling something that is actually natural. If you've been a piece of shit, you cheat on your spouse and you get caught, and now you're, quote, depressed because you're by yourself. Well, you're feeling how a normal human being should. There's a certain aspect of living a human existence where you'll feel a certain way that is actually the way you're supposed to feel when you get caught in a really shitty situation. If you are a business owner and you're not ethical and you don't treat people the way they should be treated, and you don't deliver your goods, and you get caught and you get sued and you lose, and now you're depressed, you're feeling like how a normal human being should feel. There are certain emotions that people are so quick to call depression when it's not. It's called actually living a normal human existence. Anyway, to start to close here, do not get fooled by messages that are being projected because they're what you want to hear. Oh, I just don't give a fuck. All these people give a fuck. These people are creating a simple glimpse in time to show you only a small aspect of life. I guarantee you're not seeing the other 80% where they are giving a fuck throughout the day. I mean, all the time, these Instagram people are being uncovered for like they're not really being truthful with you here. Look, I know some really talented people. Any one of them that really operate in a real ethical way and really are genuine about what they deliver would tell you, listen, we're human beings. Like a physical, like an athlete, for example. Even the greatest athlete still, hits an air ball from time to time. Nobody's perfect. Even the greatest athlete still gets tired. They might get off the bench quicker, sure, but they're still a human being at the end of the day. If you're going through a really tough time, it's really important that your expectations get managed as far as what's possible. So anyway, I hope this is helpful here. I hope this kind of gives you a sigh of relief that you're a human being after all. And again, as human beings, we're so fucking hard on ourselves. Listen, one thing I'm really great at is I'm really kind to myself. I like not being perfect. I'm not trying to be perfect. I've given the idea that fucking, throw that to the fucking side. That's not going to happen. But I like progressing. I like getting better. I like improving. I like embracing challenges. But the idea that I'm never going to get to a point where I just don't give a fuck is insane. Not to mention also, it would be unnatural to not give a fuck. There are certain situations where you should give a fuck about, what someone's opinion is. If you care about them, I mean, if you don't care and you're this callous sociopath, maybe you don't give a fuck. But there are certain situations where you should give a fuck. Again, these things you see on social media, kind of take them with a grain of salt. Everything's got to be put in context. Sure, again, the big-time CEO doesn't give a fuck if one deal falls through because they're a big-time CEO, they millions of dollars. Obviously, that's got to be put in context. But that person who works at fucking Walmart or McDonald's making, $10 an hour is going to give a fuck if they lose their job. And no matter what you fucking tell them about not giving a fuck, that's just not going to work out very well when they can't pay their fucking bills, okay? Be realistic with yourself. Be kind to yourself. We're human beings. Here's what I'd suggest to you. Give yourself a real expectation of what is manageable. If you're giving a fuck a lot, then hey, this week let's just give a fuck maybe a little bit less. That's much more realistic. Really embrace the idea of progression, not perfection. And then you can actually really soar, because ironically, the more you put the idea of perfection aside, the more you can actually be a human being and really enjoy your ascension to the levels you crave and the levels you deserve. Anyway, if this video was helpful, feel free to like or subscribe. If you have a friend of yours or family member that's just really so fucking hard on themselves and you're really just tired of hearing about it from them, please forward them this video, okay? Anyway, enjoy your day. Ciao for now.